up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz. If you're new, I'm a mom and a wife, and I am currently staying home with my children. I recently started working from home, so that's why I haven't been posting any videos in a while. So I just got the girls off to school, and I have a window of about 45 minutes before it's time for me to start my work from home job. So I just wanted to come on here and chat with y'all for a few minutes about something that I've been thinking about and talking about with my friends. So I just wanted to come on here and kind of, I guess, not vent, because when you're venting, it's kind of like something is bothering you, but this subject isn't really bothering me. It's just something that I kind of wanted to talk about on a public platform, because I don't know if other moms or parents are kind of questioning themselves about the same thing. So recently we had the election, and so we now have our first African American female vice president. So the girls and I, we talked about it, and I had to explain to them why that was such a big deal, and what that means for African Americans and women. So with that being said, this is why I wanted to come on here and talk about history, and when is it okay or appropriate to speak to your kids about their history, or about things, not even their history, but just history, history and things that can, kind of change their little innocent outlook on life. And so I was kind of struggling with that, and I speak to them about little things since they were little kids. I mean, they are little kids, but since they were like tiny things, since they were like 1 or 2, Eden is almost 4 and Journey is 6 going on 7. So now they can kind of understand more of the things that I talk to them about as far as our history. So it's kind of like, do I talk to them about this? Sometimes we slip into conversations and it's kind of like we've already gotten here, we're already talking about it, and then I'm kind of like, should we be talking about this? Is it too grown up for them? So if some of you guys are kind of struggling with that, I just want to let y'all know that's something that I'm kind of struggling with, because I don't know what's gonna tank their little outlooks. My children, they have friends of different races, female, male, whatever, and so I don't want them to look at their friends like, I don't want them to look at their friends like they're a part of that. Even though it was their ancestors, I don't want them to look at them like they have to pay for what their ancestors did. So a way that I do talk to them about stuff or teach them about their history, like the civil rights movement, different people that took part in the civil rights movement, like Dr. King and John Lewis, who just passed a few months ago, just different people like that, Jesse Jackson, Shirley Chisholm, people like that, Ruby Bridges. I have a lot of books that are age appropriate for them, because a lot of times us as parents, we don't know the right words to say, so we don't know if it's too much or if it's not enough for them to understand. So I bought some of these books to show y'all that I have that you guys can purchase. I have Ruby Bridges, and this is basically the story of Ruby Bridges, the first little girl. She was the first little black girl to integrate in all white schools. So I have this book, and I've read this book to Journey and Eden since Journey was about 3, when that was before she learned how to read. She was sight reading, but she wasn't like sounding words out. Now she can read, so she reads these books on her own now. And I have this book, Henry's Freedom Box. It's about Henry Brown. It's an actual true story. It's a non-fiction book. It's about Henry Brown. He actually mailed himself to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so he wouldn't be a slave anymore. So that's some of the things that help me with teaching them things about their history. And sometimes if they ask a question, I answer it as truthfully as I can without making it so so adult-like to where they don't understand. So I try to make it age appropriate. I do want to take them to different museums, like around the country, different places where the civil rights took place, and the civil rights movement took place. And something like the civil rights movement is so dear to my heart. Like, I think about it every single day. Even things that are still going on today is dear to my heart because we're still going through it. So it's very important that we educate our children, but at the same time, we don't want to, like I said, taint their outlook on life, because we still want them to be we still want them to be receiving of people outside of their race, but we also want them to know the history of things that happened to their race. So I hope this little talk, I have to go now, I hope this little talk kind of helped somebody that's struggling with the race talk, or not even the race talk, but just teaching them things about their history and answering their questions about things that are going on today and things that happened in the past. So also, if you can comment on this, comment down below and tell me how you talk to your kids about race and how you talk to them about their history and things like that, about things that happened in the past. What's something that kind of helps you? I know there are movies that they can watch, and they're gonna have questions, because when we watched Ruby Bridges, the movie, is actually on Disney Plus right now, if you have Disney Plus. When we watched that movie, Journey had so many questions because she could not understand why she couldn't go to school with white children. She could not understand. She was just so dumbfounded. So she had a lot of questions. I answered them, to the best of my ability. So that was a good way that the conversation was broadened, because we always talk about race, but I think the older she gets, the deeper we get to go into that whole, into that whole subject. So, another reason that I like for us to talk about it is so that we can be grateful for how things are now. I know we still have a long way to go in not just America, this country, but in the world. We still have so long to go and so many things to learn. But I think if we see where we came from, we can kind of appreciate where we are, because I look at Journey and I say, back then you wouldn't be able to go to school with your friends. You wouldn't be able to see your friends and y'all would be able to play together and learn together simply because of the color of your skin. So I make sure that I let her know, you know, things have changed. Isn't it so good now? Isn't it good to be able to have friends of different races and you can hang out with them and y'all can talk to one another without, you know, being separated because of the color of your skin. So that's important to me too, so she can see the difference between then and now, and she can appreciate the things that she's able to do, you know. So, and I say she because Journey is older. Eden is still learning about those things, but she's 3, so she's almost 4. So the conversation is more so Journey, because Eden is kind of just listening when we talk. She has some questions, but Journey is more of the thinker. She's older and she's more of a thinker. So she's gonna ask like the more in-depth questions, because sometimes I'm like shocked that she asked that, or shocked that she made that observation. But yeah, like I said, if y'all have any questions about these books, I have a few more, but we really like these 2, so I just grabbed these from their library. And yeah, I'll link them down below. I know they are on Amazon, so I'll link the books on Amazon so y'all can get them for your kids and y'all can read it to them. And it's just not for Black people, it's for, I believe it's other races, their responsibility to teach about other, you know, to teach about Black history and what African Americans have been through in this country. I also teach my kids, teach them about the Native Americans and the Trail of Tears and what they went through on American soil. But it's not the gruesome. I don't teach them the gruesome part of it. I just teach them, you know, what happened, you know, to kind of accommodate their age. So it's always age appropriate. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close this video because I have about, let's see, 35 minutes to get ready for work, and I still have to eat breakfast. So thank y'all so much for watching this video, and like I said, leave comments down below if you wanna engage in a conversation in the comments. We can talk about it, you know, more in depth. If you have any questions for me about my opinion, about my opinion as far as teaching your kids about history and talking to them and answering their questions about history of the races. So not racist, but racist, like Black, white, Native American, Chinese, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, let's start a conversation in the comments. Okay, bye.